All right, guys, so happy Tuesday. Welcome to our Zoom. I hope you guys are having an awesome week so far. I had put out on the team page kind of what this Zoom was going to be about because I know that it's something that I have always struggled with. I've kind of gone in and out of finding a balance. I think that everybody that I've talked to on the team at some point has struggled with finding a balance. So I thought that it was a good time to kind of retouch on this topic, put together my top 3 tips on it, and help us find more of a healthy balance, right, between our business and our personal life. Maybe you feel like you're on your phone too much. Maybe it's even causing arguments for some people that, that balance of, hey, it's dinner time, put your phone down type thing, right? And it can be really hard. As ambassadors, it can be really hard, and we want to respond to that message right away. We want to, send out those messages. We want to see what everybody is up to on Facebook so that we know what to say to who and things like that. So I have top 3 tips on how I manage my time, how I think that everyone can manage their time. And we all have different schedules, right? Some of us are stay-at-home moms like me. Some of us work full-time. Some of us don't have kids. Some of us have kids. Some of us are married, aren't married. Some of us are completely home, no kids, everything, and have all the time in the world. So take this for what you will, and take it for where you're at in your business and where you're at in your life with your schedule and how you're feeling about everything. And if what you're doing is working great for you, working great for your family, time management is absolutely not an issue for you right now, then keep doing what you're doing. That's great. This is definitely for those who are struggling with that, for those who have a hard time finding it. Yes, sweetheart. Stickers. Okay, so my top 3 tips. Number 1, scrolling Facebook does not equal IPA, right? IPA is income producing activity. Scrolling Facebook is unfortunately not going to bring us in income in Plexus, right? So I think that as ambassadors, because we're on Facebook so much, because our team pages are there, our network is there, most of us found out about Plexus in the first place on Facebook. It's really easy to get sucked into social media and just start scrolling, especially those with that don't work or have a little bit more time on our hands, right? It's really easy to aimlessly scroll. And so Celeste Gwynn at some point in some training said that she allows herself 20 minutes a day to aimlessly scroll, kind of catch up to see what's going on in people's lives, and that's it. She does not allow herself any more than 20, 30 minutes to do that, and I think that's a really great thing to practice. Like, if this is something you really, really struggle with, like, set a timer on your phone if you have to. Do something to hold yourself accountable to not being on Facebook all the time just scrolling, and considering that working your business. Because when we know in our hearts of hearts that's not working our business, that's really just like extracurricular activity, right? We're scrolling the way that we did before we worked Plexus. And so one way to really manage this also is, if you have an iPhone, you can go to settings, go to battery, and it'll tell you in the last 24 hours what percentage of your battery went to Facebook, went to Instagram, went to Snapchat, okay? And I think that it's really important to go and look at that. I'm sure if you have an Android, there's some way to look at it as well. Or really just catch yourself. How much time did you spend scrolling, and really look how much of that percentage was out of leisure habit of just scrolling like we always did before, maybe before we joined Plexus, and how much of that percentage of time was really used strategically connecting with people. Facebook is very important. Like I said, by no means am I saying to get off of Facebook, but that aimless scrolling, which when I catch myself doing this, I know that I'm not working my business right. I will definitely have days where I aimlessly scroll Facebook so much more than other days. And I slap myself on the wrist because of it, because I know it's not income producing. And so to do that repeatedly on an everyday basis is where we're not going to be getting results. And that's where we're going to be feeling like, oh gosh, I spent so much time on my phone today, or I spent so much time doing Plexus, when reality is what percentage of that time when you're on your phone was like really actually income producing and strategically used. So that's my tip number one, is to really go check yourself on how much time you're spending on Facebook or social media in general, aimlessly scrolling where you're not doing anything that's really working your business, okay? My tip number two is setting business hours. Some people really need this, okay? And I think that even if you feel like, no, I'm fine working all day right now. I'm totally cool with that. You might hit a point where you're not anymore, right? Like, we can only consume ourselves with something for so many hours a day for so long before we start to feel a little burnt out. I know that I definitely go through phases. I definitely have different needs. One second, you guys. I definitely go through phases where I'm more comfortable with putting a lot more time into my business on an everyday basis. And there's some phases where my twins are in a phase where they need a lot more from me maybe, or Reagan needs a lot more from me, or, you know, whatever it may be. My husband's schedule changes at work. You know, life happens, things switch up, and it's okay to switch up our, you know, time that we do Plexus, aka, you know, our business hours. It's okay to switch those up too as need be, right? And so some tips that I have for setting business hours, some people do really well with having 3 15-minute increments that they squeeze in during their days, okay? Maybe this is 15 minutes when you pull into the parking lot for work and you're there, you know, 20 minutes early, and you can squeeze in 15 minutes on your phone before you get out of the car when you would usually sit there and scroll, right? Maybe that's your 15 minutes, and then 15 minutes on your break, 15 minutes, you know, same scenario when you get home in the evening or something like that. Squeezing in those 3 15-minute increments. Or a lot of people like having a Plexus power hour, an hour during their day that they can set aside, that they just hustle hard during that hour, that they really commit. Maybe this is nap time for you if you have little ones and you're home with them, or you know, maybe this is your hour-long lunch break at work when you're eating, or whatever it is. Squeezing in a Plexus power hour is really powerful for some people. And during that power hour, there's nothing else going on other than reaching out, following up, looking at training material, like whatever income-producing activities you have set for that day. That will be your Plexus power hour. Do you have a long commute to and from work? Maybe long to you is 15 minutes, or long to you is an hour and a half. But I think that time in the car when you're alone is used beautifully for most people to send and receive voice messages, you know, to push play on a YouTube video. I'm not condoning using your phone while you're driving in any way, shape, or form. If you're not sitting in dead stop traffic, which I think a lot of us in Southern California who commute are, but those who aren't and you're driving, push play on a YouTube video on some sort of training material, set it in your cup holder and listen to that, and utilize that commute instead of just listening to the radio. You know, maybe you need to wake up 30 minutes earlier. I know there's a few of you on the team that do that. You know, for some people, like for me, that's impossible. My kids are up at between 5 and 6 every day. If I set an alarm, guaranteed my kids will probably wake up before, or wake up at the same time my alarm goes off. But for some people that works really beautifully. Just 30 minutes earlier every day, wake up, you know, while you make your pink drink, make yourself breakfast, whatever, listen to that training material, or, you know, listen to messages or read messages. Go ahead. Squeeze it, yes. Mommy. But the whole point in that is, if you're going to be doing something like waking up 30 minutes earlier, make sure that it's very productive, right? Make that 30 minutes worth it. Make that lack of 30 minutes of sleep worth it for you. You know, if you're a leader, maybe it's writing Zoom notes, whatever it is for you. I already mentioned like working on your lunch break at work. This might not sound too appealing, but I wouldn't even think of it as working. Think of it as, you know, connecting with a bunch of friends on your lunch break at work, but just make sure you're strategically getting in as many as you can, or responding to those messages as much as you can during that time that you have. Okay. Sorry, guys. I was wondering how the Zoom was going to go. Today's a very high-strung day with my kids. Yes. Can you please let your puppy back inside? Thank you. Okay. No. Charlie does not want fruit. No. Okay. Okay. So, and then really the last thing too is on setting your business hours is, for some people, I think for everybody across the board, in addition to setting those business hours, I think that it's so powerful to be integrating those IPAs, okay? IPAs, that connecting. I don't even like to call them IPAs, that connecting with people, integrate it into your grocery shopping trip. Chat with the mama behind you in line and find some reason to add her onto your Facebook or get her number. Consistently go to the same cashier when you check out at your local store that you always go to, so you can form some sort of relationship at some point, or maybe you can suggest the pink drink to help and she'll trust you because she knows you, right? He or she. Maybe when you're at soccer practice with your kids, chatting with those moms, don't be so refrained. Force yourself to be more social, and this is the easiest way to integrate your business into your busy schedule. Maybe it's connecting with your coworkers, getting a little bit bold, drinking that pink drink while you're at work and letting them ask questions about it and talking about it. Maybe it's play dates. You have friends who you're going to have play dates with anyway. Like I said, the easiest way is to shake up your pink drink and just drink it when you're at those things, to be honest, and mention somehow with like, girl, I don't know how you do it. Like, I'm loving my energy that I have so bad. I don't know how you're like doing this, with a 2-year-old without it, or whatever you want to say. It's not about being salesy. It's not about setting time aside to go pass out business cards and not act yourself. It's about connecting, and it's about really squeezing it into those nooks and crannies of your everyday life. And that's what we mean by that. We mean, when you're at your kids' gymnastics and all of that, connecting with people, just connecting with people. So I always like to think of it as, if I wasn't going to benefit from this at all, like if this was not Plexus at all, just forming a sincere friendship with this person and just being somebody added to your life is really what's most important, you guys. And the rest really flows organically when you're passionate and excited about Plexus, and they're going to see that through you and they're going to become interested. So that's my tip number 2, is setting those business hours. Kind of threw that into the non-business hours of everyday hustle bustle too. And then number 3, mute your phone, you guys. Mute your phone at certain points during the day. Prioritize your family, okay? Step away. It's healthy. It's so healthy. What's not healthy is to be consumed by something all day, every day. And what we're talking about here is Plexus, right? It's not healthy for anybody to be consumed by any sort of business, any sort of, what are you wanting, honey? You want something else on? Sorry, you guys. The TV is my best friend during Zoom. You want Smurfs? No. Oh, dear. Okay. Let's do that. Yeah. No. It's okay, Naomi. You're coloring. Okay, so mute your phone. Prioritize your family. Step away. It's not healthy to be so consumed by something all the time. And I think that in Plexus, or, maybe we see it like in these diamonds and jewels in the company, and we think like they never took a break. Do what works for you. If never taking a break is going well for you and you're feeling really good about it and you're able to go nonstop and you feel like that's what's bringing in the most success for you right now, and you're not feeling overwhelmed by it, then go nonstop, girl. Go. Just go, and I'll support you, and your leaders will support you. But for most people to go nonstop all the time gets very overwhelming. It can really weigh on you. You kind of feel like, what am I doing here? And honestly, my whole point of this Zoom that I really want to make is more hours doesn't always equal more production, if that makes sense. So squeezing 3 15-minute increments into your day of very strategically reaching out and following up with people and just really boom, 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 shooting those out, or having, 1 or 2 Plexus hours, power hours through your day where you're really busting that stuff out and you're really getting stuff done and getting orders placed during that time, getting people signed up during that time, going and training your ambassadors is so much more productive and so much more beneficial to your business than scrolling Facebook, answering every single text message as it comes in all day, every day will ever do for you, honestly. And I'm saying this from experience. It's just the truth. So, when I say to mute your phone, prioritize your family, step away, am I saying to do this for weeks at a time, for days at a time? No, That won't be good for your business. It just won't at all. Your business will crumble if you do this for long periods of time. Am I talking about maybe when your husband gets home from work and you guys are going to have a family dinner and then you're going to lay the kids down for bed together and have some alone time for a couple of hours? Yes, those are the moments that I'm talking about. When you go out to dinner with a group of friends and you want to connect with people in person and not be on your phone the whole time, like this new generation always is, right? Yes, those are the times that I'm talking about. Those messages will still be there. They're not going to disappear. It's not neglecting your business. It is prioritizing and finding balance and understanding that your business is going to be there in an hour when you go back and you check your phone, right? So I love that Celeste gives an example, and I don't know if it's on her Diamond documentary or where she gave it, to be honest. I'm so horrible with that. But Celeste Wynn, the top earner in our company, she said that she had such an aha moment when her and her husband were at a concert, and it was when she first joined Plexus, and she was sitting like third row at this concert, and she was like this the whole time because somebody wanted to join her team. Somebody wanted to order, and her husband put his hand over her phone and said, "Stop. Those messages will be there tomorrow. Take in right now. Take in this moment and be okay that those are going to be there tomorrow. Those people aren't going anywhere. If they're truly interested in Plexus, their message will still be there when we get home tonight, or their messages will still be there in the morning." And that resonated with me so strongly. Hope it does with you guys. I just don't want anybody on our team feeling like it needs to be 100% Plexus all the time. That's not healthy. We have personal lives too. We have our families. We have our spouses. We have our friends. We have our careers. We have all these things going on. Good girl, honey. Good job. And I just want you guys to feel comfortable in knowing that there's a balance. And if you're still struggling finding a balance, if you're feeling like this is something you're really struggling with, or maybe I said something that kind of confused you or conflicted something that you thought or whatever, feel free to reach out. I would love to help you kind of find that balance for you specifically. For everybody, it's going to look differently. But I hope this helped you guys, and I hope you guys have an awesome week. Let me know what your takeaways were under here, and we will be talking soon. Bye, guys.